La-da-dee, la-da-doo, la-da-dum. You surely must be shitting me. Is it working? Nope. Nobody's gonna be here anymore. Whoa. Oh, okay. Well, probably for the best that nobody's here. All right, let's turn that out. Well, everybody left. However, is it all working again? Or am I making this up? I don't know. It seems like it's probably too good to be true. Well, let's see what I can do here. Let's, make a couple of things happen. We'll throw this here. We will throw on the chat box just to see if I can do that and things are still working. Deo Communist, hello. Welcome to the chat. I truly don't, so true to life, nothing changed. I just kept running internet speed tests and all of a sudden, out of the blue at 8 o'clock, things seem to get a little bit better. Which is a real interesting predicament that I don't understand. And I don't know if, 8 o'clock is the magic number, if the internet service provider does something at 8 o'clock. I wish I understood technology better. For the last hour, from 7 o'clock till now, nothing was working, everything was slow. I ran another internet speed test at 8 o'clock, and internet connection appeared much better. Now, but before I hold it to that, I'm just checking every variable here. So why don't I try also turning on my video game capture software? Maybe that is something that's ruining things. Let's find out. Let's open it up and see if my stream corrupts when I try to run the software. Maybe that's the problem. Let's see. Doodly-doo, ha! Here she is. We will make her the right size, get her nice and lined up, open the game. Is my stream the right title, by the way, chat? Is it episode 28 of the game that we're playing? Can you hear the game that we're playing? Do I dare try? Do I dare try to do this after the hell that I've been having? I don't know. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. I don't have faith in it. But it seems to be working okay. And I want to finish the trial. Chat, let me know. Do we try to play tonight? Do we try to do it? Oh, I've got no faith in Spectrum Internet. Thanks, you guys. But, I don't know. Things look smooth at the moment. It sucks already not being able to start, but the one thing that'll really suck is if, I go through trial, we get, halfway through it, and then things crap out. That will suck. That'll really, really piss me off. Go for it. Oh, man. All the people who gave up on tonight, they're going to have to just watch it as a video on demand tomorrow. Hi, VOD people, if you showed up and are like, hey, what the fuck? Where were you last night? Well, I'm here now. We're going to open it. Fuck it. I want to do it. It's been so long. Ugh. Please work. Oh.
Court is now in session for the trial of Director Yuri Cosmos. A new possibility has been presented by the defense.
It has. What was it? I don't know. I can't remember. I got so distracted the last couple of days. Okay. Maybe we're gonna do this. As we get started, guys, there's so much that I wanted to talk about. And literally all of it flew over my head just because I got so upset about the internet not working. For starters, one of my neighbors, a girl who actually lives next to me, she informed me that her car was broken into in the lot of our building, which sucks because, like, the thing is, it might have just been a one-off random crime, because here's the thing, I don't live in the best neighborhood. We got a couple of sketchy figures that do kind of weird shit. But even if I lived in a nice neighborhood, the reality about cars is like, it sucks to suck, but they're always a little bit vulnerable. Unless you can park them in like a secure inside parking garage. They're either going to be in a driveway, on the street, or in an outdoor lot, which is where ours is. I remember, you know, my parents, they live in a pretty nice neighborhood, and about 2 years ago, there was a string of break-ins in my parents' neighborhood where somebody was just going around and breaking into people's cars on the streets. My mother's car was broken into when I was a child at, like, some gym for women that she went to, just while she was in the gym working out, literally in the parking lot of that gym. Somebody smashed the rear window of her car, and I don't know, I guess they tried to steal something. For me, I just worry about, like, a car window being smashed unnecessarily, because I don't keep any valuables in my car. So my center console is empty. I don't keep cash. I don't keep anything. The only thing that is in my car, I think, is a pair of cheap-ass sunglasses and a couple of phone chargers. So nothing of value really sits in there. And I don't have a Kia, thank God, or a Hyundai, since those are the cars that are now easily broken into, or easily manipulated to be stolen completely. That'd suck. And then in college, at my school, at Rider University, we had an incident where in the student parking lot, there were these, like, punk-ass kids who like to commit vandalism just for the sake of vandalism, for the lulz. They weren't even stealing shit, they were just going through and they were smashing the mirrors off of random cars in the student parking lot. And it's like, why do you have to be such a dick? I don't know, but some people are. So I hope that my brand new car is going to be okay. Anyways, that's what I'm getting at. I also gave part of this speech just to make sure that the internet connection continued to appear to be stable. It looks like it kind of did. So chat, if you guys are here and you want to do some gaming, it's going to be a small, tight-knit audience today, I think. But that's fine by me, all right? We don't need a lot of people here. I'm used to it. I've never had a lot of people here to begin with. So let's get focused on the trial at hand. That was a really long-winded talk. I apologize. I'll be cutting out most of this. In fact, why don't we start it here? All right, boys, we are back in court. I know this is not what you expected to see. However, the internet finally started working. For some reason, after 8 o'clock, it was like, okay, you're good now. Can't explain it. So I understand that a lot of you might see this as a video on demand, hopefully tomorrow. Sorry, sucks to suck, but I can't wait to play the game another day. The internet's working right now, and I don't know if that's going to last, quite frankly, so I'm going to take every second of it I can get to finish this court. Let's get started.
Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They're claiming that you were this third person.
Oh my god. This is like me trying to deal with my computer.
Forgive me, I'm so sorry.
So, the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I have only one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this.
Fine. I'll tell you the truth. It's all just such a shame, Mr. Wright. It is true I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me.
Aha!
I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room.
Okay. Are you suggesting you were not the killer?
I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again.
So you, like, met up with her and pretended that you weren't just in the board? Did she not see you go into the control room? What?
I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene.
What a troublesome man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Yeah, but you have no credibility anymore. All you've done is lie on my witness stand.
Hold it!
Yeah, thank you, Phoenix. Now hold on a moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you.
Nah, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I'd just leave him to take the fall.
That's an interesting argument you make.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah, me and Athena are on the same brain wavelength, I think. Right. All he wanted to do was protect Starbuck.
Well, it makes sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Told those lies.
Still, a lie's a lie, Athena.
So, Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct?
Well, yeah, and?
Well, I was on the 4th floor, helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me.
The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 o'clock. And then you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, I believe the person I saw is the same person Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure, less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an Earthling.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
Nope, we can't. Although then again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please.
Great, can't wait for this pile of lies. What I really witnessed, lay it on me. It's just me and you here today, buddy.
As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air.
Into thin air, huh?
I was near the elevator side door, and well, the Launchpad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So, you were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared.
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Turan's oxygen tank. And I know this because I heard that pang. Must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal.
That was Detective Arm's bullet. It's a lot of guns and firings to keep track of, Athena. Try to keep up.
Right. Oh, what a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him.
Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank, and ruptured it.
And then, the killer disappeared, and the director went to the boarding lounge.
That is also correct. I think.
When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too.
Right, that's a good summary. But it doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
Arrgh, I'm ashamed to admit it. I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but...
Ouch. I can't move my camera very well. Ooh, let's move it this way a little. Sorry. Adjusting on the fly.
When I peeped into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest, and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So, we have a culprit who vanished from the scene, and had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Maybe the killer is a ghost?
Silence.
No. You didn't find that very funny, did you? A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great.
A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Wow. You know, that might be the first true statement he's said all day. But, how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't really have any counter-evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, be it dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until after the other person vanished, and I entered the room.
Great, thanks. So glad that you're my witness today. You're really making me work for it. I'm prepared to accept your surrender right, Dono. I can't find any holes in Blackwell. No, in Yuri. In his testimony. But I can't give up.
Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help?
What do you mean?
While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony. I detected a bunch of discord in his heart.
Ah! So it means he's hiding his true feelings from us. Alright, Athena, out this man. This is just what you're good at. And it might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. Alright, Athena, that'd be great! Let's see what you can do with him.
You got it, boss! Oh, I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Psychology powers, go! Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me.
Oh, that's such a way of phrasing. Have fun using your little space robot there, Athena. Not that that's suspicious at all to me, now that I see the connection. Alright, as I tried to enter the lounge... Whoa, we've got a lot of emotions right off the bat. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. Okay, he's scared, he's shocked, he's also a little bit angry. Okay, interesting. I hid to avoid getting shot at, but when I tried to get another look, they vanished into thin air. It was near the elevator side door. Okay. And well, the Launchpad 1 door. Okay. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So immediately, this one's a little bit weird. The Launchpad 1 door, but he was afraid of it? Got it! Why? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the Launchpad door. Also, I'm just now realizing that, whenever Athena does her psychology, I seem to be the one who's doing all of the work. Is that how therapy works?
The great Yuri Cosmos afraid! And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any base or not, you seem quite distressed by it, so I think it's quite based.
I'm most certainly not.
Director Cosmos! There's something about the Launchpad door that you're not telling us, isn't there?
Wow! He's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. It's working! One more punch, it'll be a knockout. Just like psychology dictates. You take your clients and you sock them in the face. There seems to be more and more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. You should go get him, Tiger.
Right, okay, back into the Matrix it is. I can't help but feel like I'm being turned into an analytical psychologist by my apprentice. Alright, so one more out-of-place emotion. Let's see if we can find it. Is it the anger? Is everything else the same? Do we get an info update? Not really. Okay, so that was one, which is good. Other out-of-place emotion, I want to say maybe the anger. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, to be fair, I might also be angry if somebody fired a gun at me.
Got it!
Yeah, I don't think that was it. Okay, sorry.
I don't know, but I think maybe we made a mistake, Mr. Wright.
I think maybe you're right.
Let's take another look. There must be an unexpected emotion here somewhere.
Unexpected emotion, let's see. Alright, everything here makes sense. I feel like you would be surprised, you would be scared, you would be angry. When I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I mean, why aren't you surprised about that? Does that make sense?
Got it!
It does make sense. Right? Why aren't you shocked? You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air.
I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually.
And yet, at that time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. Isn't that a little bit weird? I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea where they went. Isn't that right, Yuri?
No, of course not. It's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launchpad door is filled with smoke, making it impossible. That's for the southern door. I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to.
Maybe. Or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip through the southern door?
I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing toward it herself, via the hallway. Anyone trying to escape there would have been caught by her.
And yet, the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So, you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
I'll just input those 2 pieces of data, and... yes! Just what I wanted to see. We lost his noise level. Presto changeo! Less Discord. It looks like we're on the right track.
Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the Launchpad 1 door. Dogface, you made it back! Yeah, we got it working somehow, some way. Well, I'll talk about it later. When we put those 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? Wait, what? Oh, no. Hang on, can I do a real quick rewind? He wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility he knew where the killer escaped to. Talking about the door to the Launchpad made him uneasy. He's probably hiding something about the Launchpad 1 door. So then he escaped through the Launchpad 1 corridor.
Take that!
Yeah? The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes. No, I mean, no. No, disaster to starboard. We're gonna crash into an asteroid.
A master tactician you are. Not.
But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it?
True. But this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Also, Dogface, does everything sound okay? Is audio alright? I need that kind of feedback, since I'm streaming later than usual with no regular feedback. Everybody vanished on me. Understandably so.
Yeah, but the door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. So I don't see how the killer could have opened the security lock.
That's not good. Oh, that's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. Audio and video going well. Awesome, thank you, Dogface. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. The victims? The victims! Ah! Uh-oh. Maybe I jumped the gun. Oh, maybe it was supposed to be Starbuck. Magic Dog, hello. That person's fingerprints were not found on the device. Well, listen, I forgot. In case you hadn't noticed, I had a bit of a busy day. You sounded so sure, only to produce this nonsense. What were you thinking? Well, I was thinking my curl could use a ah, damn it.
That's enough. Free haircuts are to be gotten on your own time, Mr. Wright.
Yeah, Your Honor, sorry about that. Okay, wait. Do I have the handprint in evidence? Because that would also be helpful. Since I apparently forgot whose handprint it was. Because my second guess is Starbuck, but I'd hate to be wrong twice in a row. Alright, he had to have access to a certain person's prints. We examined prints on the device, and the prints belonged to... Alright, well, let's try this again with Solomon Starbuck. Oh, I hope it's you, my guy.
But that's...
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. It looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Sure, Your Honor. Huh? But by all means. David, hello! Good to see you back.
There's a security camera on Boarding Lounge 1. Boarding Lounge 1.
Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic?
Well, it would be great, but here's the thing. We don't have footage of that. I hope you didn't strain your faculties that much, your boldness.
I beg your pardon.
Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point, she cuts out.
Oh, my! The footage cuts off.
The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. Hey, that's an offensive term.
And I thought it was such a good idea, too.
Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, it doesn't mean you should try to show off too much grandpa boldness.
Prosecutor Blackwell! How did you know about my grandchild?
Where is this going? I'm sorry. What is this family drama?
I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world.
Oh, we can show him a lot of harshness about the adult world. Anyways, setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue if we could. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge?
No, if I must.
Okay. I had to avoid getting shot, right? After the killer vanished, I went to the lounge. Okay. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then she shot at me. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad. Isn't that right? Hey Athena, what do you think about Director Cosmos' emotional responses?
Actually, my cat is really sick, you know?
Wait, what? I'm sorry, Athena has a cat?
And on top of that, my dog just doesn't seem to want to play with me.
I'm sorry, you have a dog? Wait, Athena, are you feeling alright?
Just humor me, okay? Now, when you heard about my cat, and then about my dog, which story made you feel sadder?
I guess the story about your cat, of course. It's only natural. Is it? I'm more of a dog person. What did she say? Was I not Listen, me listening to women... Sorry. Alright, where was she freaking out? My cat is really sick. What was... my dog doesn't seem to want to play... Oh, right. Okay, the cat story is a little bit more serious. I get it. I can listen to women talk. Don't worry.
Exactly. That would be the natural reaction. But there's nothing natural about the director's reactions. I think how each individual reaction changes across the whole testimony is going to be the key.
Sounds unnaturally complicated. But that somehow doesn't surprise me. Oh my god, David! We got some Daddy Nick going.
David has just donated $7. Working and lurking. Really glad you got to stream tonight?
Aw, David, thank you so much for the donation. I'm really glad I got to stream tonight, too. I was really starting to lose my cool, because I wanted to play this so bad. If you guys can't tell, I'm fucking in love with this game at this point. I'm like such a Phoenix Wright weeaboo bitch. And the fact that I was having to blow it off over and over again was really getting under my skin. So, that made me happy. Stephen, hello! Good to see you, too. Alright guys, I'm pumped now. So, Athena gave us the big hint. We have to see how emotions change throughout the testimony. So he's big scared here when he's hiding. Then his fear goes down after the killer vanishes, but that makes sense, right? Once the killer's gone, you kind of chill a little bit. So I'm not too pressed about that. Then he gets super surprised when Detective Arm appears. But less surprised when she shoots... That's it. I would be a little bit more surprised once a gun fires at me. Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural?
Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings.
It's Angela! I've always been lurking in the shadows,
lurking, just watching and waiting for you to have a big old fuck up.
Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion.
Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by.
Pardon me.
First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were, of course, again surprised when she shot at you. But, considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprised reaction is the fact that you were more surprised when she came. I'm always surprised when they come. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater.
Ah!
The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whether it was, you were conflicted about what you were doing there. Fuck off.
The enemy's acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk.
You know what? You'd make a great Codename Kids Next Door villain. Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. We're getting close. Down to 30.
Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that Launchpad door.
And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape.
I wonder what it could be.
Well, if he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change before he came into the room and after.
Well, Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison.
Okay.
Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived.
Right. I know what it's gonna be. Without even seeing the second photo, well, I guess I technically saw both photos. I haven't seen the difference yet, but I know exactly what's gonna be different. Because there's not a lot to work with. You're looking in this phone, you're like, alright, what could possibly be changed between the two photos? Fortunately for us, there's really only one thing in this entire photograph that, like, could possibly be changed. And it's this girl right here. She's horizontal. 10 out of 10. I guarantee you she's gonna be flipped over vertically. I'm calling it now. Yep. There she is. Now, granted, I probably could have seen this like 30 minutes ago, but I truly never paid attention to it until Athena played this little game of Spot the Difference. And it flipped like a switch in my brain. It flipped like a switch on the wall next to the launch pad that probably... What does this do? Does this change the locking mechanism? Maybe it was unlocked so anybody could go through. That'd make sense.
And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge.
Hey, look at that. There is a change. Something is definitely different. Director Cosmos.
Ah, what is it? What have you two been up to over there?
Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you. That's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Ah, don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you would have pointed it out already.
Well, he's asking for it. Phoenix, you can't say that anymore. This is what changed directly after the incident. Do. I'm so good at find the difference, you guys. The answer is your knob.
Ah, what about my knob?
Your Honor, please, take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
What does that mean?
It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Oh, boys, we got Phoenix Objection music! Boys, we got it on a roll! After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob on the door?
Fine! I admit it. You're right. I turned the knob. It's a safety lock, meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there'd be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away.
Wait, what? Oh, that is not what I thought the knob did. I thought it unlocked the door. Wait, I'm sorry, you wanted to do what?
Hey! Didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site.
Right, it detaches and she ships away. I mean, that is convenient if you're trying to escape.
But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first.
So I guess that clears up what the knob is for.
Oh! So if the killer escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site.
I don't think so. The Launchpad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through the corridor.
So then, where did the killer escape to?
Well, let me think about that. I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request you tell us about moving the Launchpad in more detail.
Fine! But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
Oh, great. More psychology. Oh my god, look at his little butt! Dogface, how the heck did you notice that, referring to the knob? Because I pay attention to all the important details. Like this man's little hiney, he's ready to take it. He's performing basically lordosis. He's assumed the position. Damn, thick thighs save lives. Okay, sorry. He had no choice but to disengage the safety lock, and he was very happy about that, which is automatically weird, but let's go through the rest of this. I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through Launchpad 1. Info updates. But that area was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? Why were you so happy, though? Whoops, whoops.
Got it!
That's a very weird emotion to have. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet, when you did it, you felt joy. As if you were very pleased with yourself.
How do you do it? How do you know everything? As if you were there.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? It's the power of analytical psychology. We get inside of your head and then we gaslight you till you feel like you fucked up in life.
So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe you were trying to fulfill some sort of hidden agenda.
How do you know about that, too?
Well, because I'm more or less a pro at this. At guessing, at bluffing. I'm seasoned, as they would say. Seasoned with experience and knowledge and know-how. I have a daughter. I'm a dad. I'm a daddy in this courtroom. Alright, and you're gonna tell daddy what you did today. I'm sorry, you're gonna tell daddy what you did yesterday. When you fucked everything up.
But you have no proof. Even if I did have a hidden agenda, I'd never tell ya.
That's not something you should say into a court of law. Ugh, I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, you take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Daddy?
Oh
Sorry.
my god!
Daddy? Sorry. Poppy? Sorry.
Travis!
Daddy? Sorry. Sorry.
Daddy?
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 Sorry.
Are you donating to Daddy?
Daddy?
Travis has just donated $5.
Travis! This one's for Daddy. Right here. In the pit. Thank God I wore black today. It's gonna be harder to see my pit stains. You were a good boy for Daddy. There's a man on TikTok. The reason I did that, there's a man on TikTok whose whole TikTok page is like saying, "This is daddy. You're going to be a good boy for daddy." It's very creepy. It's very weird. But he's also handsome. So, like, I kind of let it slide how weird it is. Because I'm gay. And horny. And insatiable. It's No Nut November. Give me a break. You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell! What came over him all of a sudden? You've spouted nothing but falsities since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor. Liar! His words bite harder than his blade, damn. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend, actually. Hop right on board. Your friend's page is the reason I can't get through. No Nut November. Only friends, you guys. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on the scene. What? Liar!
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad.
Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar! But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned the knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure that the pod had to have gone somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! You're sure it must have went somewhere, and just might find out? Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy? Daddy? Sorry. Blackwell? Daddy Blackwell? I'm boy. I am boy. DJ Polly, my favorite gamer. This might be the only time I've ever been and ever will be a little bit attracted to Blackwell. I'm such a sucker. Everything's getting to me these days. Ah! What are you so happy about, Athena?
Talk about hitting below the belt.
You Gen Zs and your fucked up humor. I swear to God. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge, but the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ugh! Wait a minute. What if I have it backwards? What if the Launchpad 1 was already at the launch site because they were in fact getting ready to do a launch, were they not? And the Launchpad was called back to the scene by being moved. It still leaves me with questions, and it doesn't really answer anything for me. But it is thinking backwards, like Phoenix tells me to do. What if the director turns the knob not to move the Launchpad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? Right, yeah, that's essentially what I said. What are you blathering about? What if the Launchpad was at the launch site before the incident, and then, after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot? All he had to do was turn the knob to call the Launchpad back. And it would be right where the police found it. Ugh! I love Phoenix's freak-out face. Changeling DJ, welcome back, by the way.
You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck.
What I really said that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great liar turns the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Yeah, that is going to be a complication, isn't it? Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our Astra Wanderers made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Oh, right, filmless film, huh? So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it is, boy!
Oh my god! Hitting me with the boy again. Get a grip, Mr. Wright. Focus. We know the Launchpad must have been moved.
But our deductions and the actual facts of the case, they're in direct contradiction to each other.
Well, maybe the two astronauts never really boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake. Taken with body doubles after the incident, something like that. You know, on second thought, that's a little too far-fetched, even for me.
Never actually boarded the rocket. You know, let me think about that for a second. Wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe, never boarded the rocket. Never. That's a very specific line of dialogue. Is it stupid of me? Trying to jump ahead of the game here. I don't understand how this would make sense, but if we're gonna postulate that they never boarded the rocket, and the rocket is in Launchpad 1, there's a replica rocket in the space museum. Stay with me on this, chat. Alright? Don't get lost in translation here.
I hypothesize that the astronauts were actually in the Space Museum rocket because therefore they would have never boarded the real rocket, and this logic doesn't totally make sense to me yet, but maybe these two things were in flip-flop order and one was reversed, and I don't really understand how that changes anything, but the explosion was in the real rocket. You know what? Maybe I should just... Never mind. Alright, let's see what Phoenix says.
Huh?
I don't really know. I'm spitballing here. Prosecutor Blackwell! What if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the Launchpad area, but instead went into another place? Oh my god, I might be right, though. And what if, when the director moved Launchpad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bullshit, or I'll cut you.
Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was all the other way around, from the beginning! Very well, Your Honor. Allow me to explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was... to switch it with another place. I think I'm on to this. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place.
I'm sorry, what did you say, switch it? What could he possibly have switched the Launchpad with?
Well, there's only like 2 replica buildings that rotate in a circle. But you'd be surprised, Your Honor, because you're not very quick to take the up on these. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. And the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. Launchpad 2. Just kidding, the Space Museum. Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2, and it has all the same features as Launchpad 1. It can even be moved to the launch site, meaning the Space Museum and the Launchpad 1 can be switched with each other.
You can't mean...
The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum. That begs so many more questions. How would they have not noticed?
What? Boulder Dash!
That makes... Don't we have documentation? And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. Okay, I'm listening.
I see the Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places.
That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the real killer to enter Launchpad 1 from the boarding lounge 2. Wait, what? Where? Phoenix, what is happening? And he set the bomb on the rocket.
But come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding lounge 2. Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. Oh.
Yeah.
After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding lounge 1 and waited there concealed. So wait a second. The bomb went off on the rocket in the space... That still doesn't... Can I look at my evidence? That shows me the explosions. Do I have evidence that shows the explosions? I thought I had documentation of it somewhere. Maybe I'm making that up too. Maybe I'm making up everything. I'm not following which rocket had the bomb on it anymore. Cause we've been to the Space Museum. We looked at that rocket. No bomb went off on the rocket that's in the Space Museum. Am I not understanding? In order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Right. Recall that Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. But why would he do that? What? Then the killer left, right? And then he took the elevator. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway.
Right, Dono. I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff.
Oh no, I'm a seasoned warrior. You missed my whole speech. I'm seasoned with experience. And I've cut down many a prosecutor, actually. Literally all of the undefeated prosecutors that exist, sent them home packing.
Silence! Unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. Arrgh, that's right. You have no proof I switched the launch pads.
Somebody needs a better anger management counselor.
If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere.
At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So
the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor.
Right.
Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage?
Oh, another find the difference game, eh? Even in space, safety first. You've got the robot cleaning. You've got... Huh? That number on the floor. Oh my lord. The number 1. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. To be fair, the number was covered by the text box. That's why I didn't see it right away.
And if this is just another bluff...
Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum.
Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum?
this number 2. So most of this is making sense. Chat, you can help me out here, unless I'm not supposed to understand it yet and it's a spoiler. I'm a little confused on what Phoenix is arguing. I get that the 2 corridors was switched, but is he trying to make the argument that the bomb went off on the rocket in the Space Museum? Because that doesn't make sense. We went to the Space Museum as part of our investigation. We would know if that rocket had an explosion on it. Or did the explosion go off on the rocket in Launchpad 1 while they were switched, and that caused enough of a distraction and an evacuation, and these guys were just leaving as part of the regular evacuation? And if that's the case, why were they still going into a rocket in the Space Museum and not understanding that they were in the Space Museum? How would the people who work there not have noticed that? There's a lot that doesn't make sense to me. I have many confusions. There's a 1 on the floor in the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor in the corridor with the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum! Ugh.
And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke.
That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. There it is. Okay. Thank you, Phoenix. I needed that one cleared up for me. And now it's clear. The explosion did occur in Launchpad 1, on the opposite side of the Space Museum. And now that we know that the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level because no ladder exploded because there was no explosion, boys!
Oh, incredible! The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude.
Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. Yeah, it was part of the evacuation plan. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Oh my god, it makes sense! Everything makes sense except for the fact that why were Clay and Starbuck going to the rocket in the Space Museum? That part. I mean, I guess they could have been tricked. Like, since they entered from, like, high up, maybe they just went to the rocket, weren't thinking. Maybe both rooms look really similar. I don't know. Bye-bye! No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth.
My honor! My glory! Everything's slipping away! Time to deploy the ultimate weapon! Galactic engine! Ignition!
Oh my god, his eyes are terrifying.
It's gone haywire! Oh god!
There was a— oh my god, Super Mario, is that you?
Girl, it's me, Twink! Bye, Hunty!
Oh,
No, not that way!
wow. My poor guy.
Bailiff! Of your steeding after that witness.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a Segway chase. Nice segue to his confession? Is this guy our guilty party? Because he switched the court. No, the killer was inside. The killer was inside of the launch pad, so at best, Cosmos could only be an accomplice. Whether he was a knowing accomplice or an unknowing accomplice, he couldn't be the killer. I'm still confused.
I see we've managed to retrieve you, before you came to any bodily harm.
Director Cosmos, do you admit that you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched to Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. Oh, it is good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings, thanks to his medication. Right, he was doped out. That tracks. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum. Right, that's what I've been saying. That it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display, right? There's so much that, like solving the riddle of the Space Museums being swapped has created so many new riddles. Like, what's going on with this picture then? Was my guy already set? No, the killer was waiting in the boarding lounge to do their attack. So yeah, why is there this spectacle? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the two launch pads to begin with.
Please. I can't. No, I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in the blast.
So you knew about the bomb?
Ugh.
The director is terrified. He must have had one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why.
Probably not a good time to try and pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I am nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his twink. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself in my court. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it. What don't you get?
Director, why'd you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, me boy. I'm sorry I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Also, woman on the right? Never met her? That's suspicious. When does she come into play?
Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, me boy.
And the dream is still alive. Silence. I don't feel satisfied. His face. I have a lot of confusion remaining. You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hell-bent on this guy? Yes, I accept that the launch pads were really switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point.
Is it? He's right. I don't have any proof.
Starbuck! You will spill everything you know.
What? Me?
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now! If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
I'm gonna die! I wanna die in space! I have to do something.
Solomon Starbuck! Prepare yourself.
Alright, you're on. Oh, there it is. Fulbright to the rescue! Haha! Now, you know, violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell.
What annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than...
Dun 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 dun! Champion of righteousness! Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. Detective Fulbright? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment, my guy. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady across the street. And then, I had to break up a cat fight. I tell ya, justice sure is a full-time job. Alright, that's great. Was it a fight between cats or, hey, why are you here? Because the defendant isn't the culprit. Until I came to make sure that justice is served. Oh my god, my boy's coming in clutch. He's gonna save the day. I don't really have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But you have finally succumbed. Nope, but it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
Did he? Thanks to you two, I feel a lot better now. I've been able to get it off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you. He did say that.
I didn't think he was serious, though.
You mean you had no faith in my boy Bobby? Alright, Bob, what is it? Is it something that's gonna prove Mr. Starbuck's innocence? It is indeed! Have a look at this. The lighter! What's this? A lighter. That's right! A lighter thought to have been used by the culprits, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robots picked it up. Krover just subscribed! Thanks for, joining. And as the victim Clay Terrance's blood, along with the killer's fingerprints on it. Whose prints? What? Yeah. I am so lost and confused. Bobby Fulbright, I need you to show me the light. It has prints. Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume the prints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. This is it! It's what I needed! Lighter added to the court record. Okay. The lighter found on the floor of the Space Museum. The true culprit's fingerprints are on it in the victim's blood. Your Honor! This is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with the lighter in hand to the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. After that. Right, yep. Then, finally, the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that Director Cosmos had testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time? No, he couldn't! You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit.
Oh, this does appear to be decisive evidence. That proves the defense's claims.
As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency, because tomorrow...
Silence.
Oh no! Is this like DL6 again? Is there a statute of limitations that's about to run out? Fulbright! You promised to never speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say that the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime, a few unanswered questions remain. So, I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck.
Ah! Ah! We did it? Maybe? Is there gonna be an objection? Solomon Starbuck! You're going to space, my boy. We won? But the judge just said that this isn't over? Because Guys, we never, ever, ever, ever win a case without fingering someone else for the crime. So, like, whose prints are on the lighter? Who's our killer? We did it, Mr. Wright! It looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright! Miss Sykes! Thank you! And please, thank Apollo for me, too. You're all the best. Oh, I wish we could tell about Apollo. Or I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. But that's gonna have to wait.
Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Ben Palmer got here on time. This is lovely.
Objection.
Welcome. Oh, I knew we weren't done here. I object to his objection. It's too late for an objection, I think. Isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Man, he's really convinced that Starbuck did it. Fulbright! What were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Yeah, actually, I would like to know as well, if I could. Oh, the results! Ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha ha! Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see. And then, there was a cat fight. And well, I kinda got carried away. I heard the prince wants Mr. Starbucks, so... You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read who the prince belonged to? Fucking Fulbright, why do you never see everything through to the end, my guy? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes? I'm sorry, what the fuck? I should have seen it coming from miles away, and I never did. This bitch is our killer. Nope, that's not right. Athena Sykes is our new Maya. So of course she's gonna be our ultimate damsel in distress. And all guilt is gonna be thrown on her for some reason that we can't explain or understand. Because Maya's not here. Girl? Why are your prints on that lighter? What? Okay. That's a good twist. I did not see that one coming. So says the report. What? What? Huh? Me? Frankie! That she-devil's a killer! I know, babe.
Order! Order, I say! Miss Sykes! Tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. Finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got there, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument, piece by piece. I didn't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So, how could it have led to this? Why do all of my female assistants always get accused of murder? Is there something wrong with me? Is it me? Am I the drama? Gah! What have I done?
Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here? It's like the whole world's gone mad.
I said order! I will have order in my court.
Turns out he did not have order in his court. Oh no. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. And that's how she ends. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this jingle though. That was the end of the episode. That wasn't even a to be continued. That was episode done. You're done. Turnabout for tomorrow, episode 5. What? Save game. Turnabout for tomorrow, investigation day 1. Okay. Well. Holy shit, what an ending. Oh my god. I guess it's time. It's been so long since we've played into the classic damsel in distress trope, but our newest female assistant has been accused of murder, and it seems like we've got more investigating to do. We gotta find this phantom. Oh, this is interesting. Guys, this case is so good. I hope you guys will be here tomorrow. I hope my internet will be working at 7 o'clock so I can stream on time tomorrow. And I hope we can start an investigation because I think it's going to be a damn good time. All right. Thank you for those of you who made it back to the stream. I do apologize again about the stream delays, but we made it happen. And a lot of you did show up back here again. So if you could leave a like on the stream for the engagement, it's super helpful. Those of you that are watching this as video on demand because you missed it, sorry. I hope to see you guys live at the next one. That's why I like video on demand. You can catch up on things that you miss. All right. That's going to be it from me, boys. Toodles!